Okay, welcome back to this regex in Excel course. If you haven't watched the introduction video already, I would recommend you go and do that because all of these videos lead on from each other. But this is the first real video where we start to get into understanding how to write patterns and pull out pieces of text with regex. So I'm in Excel here and I have the list of all of the things we'd normally see in the English language. So we have an uppercase alphabet with an underscore on the end. The reason I've put an underscore on the end is because regex treats that as a word character, a bit like any other letter. I have the lowercase alphabet, the digits, and a load of symbols. So this is kind of a cheat sheet, and there's a lot of information here. There will be a link to this cheat sheet in the description, and we will use it throughout this course to kind of go through all the modules. I'm also going to introduce another resource called Regex 101, which is a website where you can put in any text and then write your regex pattern at the top, and you'll be able to visually see what parts are being pulled out. That's slightly easier to see what's going on than kind of decoding it in Excel. If you use this site, there are various kind of flavors or engines of regex. Excel works on PCRE2, so make sure that's clicked. And then up here, you have some what are called flags, and these again will be covered in a later lesson. Global flag will return all matches. We also have case insensitivity there. So the equivalent in Excel is where you have REGEXTRACT from this text. I'm going to write our pattern here. Our return mode of 1 is that global equivalent in Regex 101, so give us all matches, and then the case sensitivity argument is there at the end. So let's turn both of those on just to match Regex 101 for now, and I'm just going to push that down into columns with the two-col formula so we can see it all nicely spaced. So the first thing I'll cover is matching exact things. So I might want to match G, H, I, J, K, and that will pull out all instances of that. So of course we have case sensitivity off at the minute. If we put case sensitivity on, then we'll only match the uppercase. And that's the easiest type of match you can do in regex. But what we want to cover is kind of the magic of the special characters that we have available to us. So we have this character classes sheet here. We're just going to cover these basic ones in this video. The Unicode ones down here will come later. But this is a sheet I've set up so you can type a letter into the blue box and it will tell you which classes of character it falls into. So if I type a bracket, for example, we'll see where it falls. So let's pull these out and start to explore what they mean. So these are character classes in regex. So if I put \d, this is saying pull out any digit from this string. So if I do the similar in Regex 101, we'll see all of the digits gets highlighted. I can also do another \d, and then every group of 2 would get highlighted, and then every group of 3, and so on. So that's kind of how I can do multiple digits. If I do every group of 3 digits, we'll see them get pulled out like that. Now, before I move on, I should probably just touch on this \. And what \/ does is it tells regex to either activate this as a special character or to cancel this being a special character. So some things are special characters by themselves without the \, dot being one of them. So dot matches any kind of Unicode character except a new line. But if we wanted to match a literal dot, we would have to put a \ onto it. And we will cover kind of wildcards and special characters in a later video, but you kind of need to know it now because all this stuff fits together. So let's get back to our character classes. \d matches any digit. Whenever we have these classes, they're mostly always lowercase, and if you do uppercase, it means the opposite. So if I did capital D, it would say match anything that is not a digit. So you'll see we get everything else out. And in Regex 101, if you type it here, it will give you a description of what your regex is doing. So this is saying \uppercase D matches any character that's not a digit, equivalent to this syntax. So we'll cover this syntax in a moment as well. So that's digits or not digits. W I like to think of as word characters. It's essentially the alphabet plus an underscore and the digits, so anything that's not a symbol. Again, with the word characters, we can put an uppercase to say anything that's not a word character, then we get all the symbols out. S is whitespace, so you can't see it there, but there's actually 3 line breaks, which are the lines between here, and a space, which is in my symbols somewhere. So showing that in regex will be easier. You see it gets all of this whitespace stuff. Capital S, of course, non-whitespace. \b is word boundary. So I've typed a sentence into Regex 101 that contains the word run in many places. So if I type run, you'll see we get run, running, run a bean. If I wanted the word run by itself, you might think to do \s for space after it or a literal space character, but then you would be capturing the word run and the space, and you don't really want the space. So instead you can say word boundary. So I can put word boundary on the start and the end. And then I get run. If I wanted just one at the start, I would get run, running, and run a bean. And just like with all the other classes, we can put a capital B to say not a word boundary. So we'll only get the word run when it is contained in other things. So then we get running and run a beans. So we want run and then something that's not a word boundary. So we'll get the kind of words contained in other words like that. \x is a special one. So with things like emojis, if I pull up this flag, we saw earlier, and again we'll cover this in a later video, but we need to kind of explain it now to explain the X. If we type a dot, that stands for any kind of Unicode character. This flag, if we say regextract from that, a dot, so give us all of the characters, you think we would just get the flag back. But we actually get many other emojis, and that's because some of these more complex ones are made up of other kind of emojis layered on top of each other. So instead, we can use a \x, and it has to be a capital, to pull out anything you see on your screen. So that's kind of counts as Grapheme Cluster is what it's called. So if I just put it into this cell with the dot, we don't get the flag anywhere. We get its kind of compound counterparts, but with a \X, we will get the flag out cleanly. So just with these character classes, particularly the D and W, we can do some clever things already. So let's do some cell addresses in Excel that are 2 letters and then 2 numbers. I'll just write these out randomly, but let's say we have no delimiters. I could say REGEXTRACT from there, and then my pattern, and I have to do this in quotation marks because I'm doing it all within formula now. We can say any 2 letters, so non-digits, which is capital D, \D, and then 2 digits. And let's pull out all matches. And we have split our string down into cell addresses. So already we're starting to do some clever things. So another thing I'd like to show in this video is the square bracket syntax. And what this does is allows you to specify ranges. So in a normal kind of regex outside brackets, if we put a dash, it matches the literal dash. But inside square brackets, it acts as like a range, so it acts as a special character. So this is another thing that's complicated about regex is when you're in certain brackets, the special characters change depending on what brackets you're in. But we can say A-Z and then close brackets, and that will match anything that is A to Z. I'm just going to turn off case sensitivity here. So we have lowercase a to Z. We could go capital A to capital Z, and it would pull the capitals, but we can't do something like a lowercase a to an uppercase Z. It has to be kind of lowercase and lowercase. But you can put them next to each other. So we could say lowercase a to Z and uppercase a to Z, and then we'd pull both. And we could also say 0 to 9, or we could say 0 to 5. The point is, when you're in square brackets, you are kind of matching piecemeal things, and it's always like one of, and the special symbols no longer kind of do anything. There's one exception, which I'll get to in a minute, but you're essentially saying match any of these things and then something else. So if I come back to my cell address example, I could say I only want those that are in the first half of the alphabet. So I could say I want, in square brackets, capital A to G, let's say, and then I could do that again, capital A to G, close my brackets, and then I want my 2 digits. So now I actually only get AB64. If I extended that to K, I think I would capture the next address. Actually, I get all of them. So if one of these was Z, so I'm sort of doing this live, ZZ, that's out of our range, so we don't get to capture it. So this square bracket syntax means match one of anything that's within the square brackets. It kind of works like an OR, so either of these things, and then I could continue on with the string for something else. So I get C because it's in the brackets, and then the D on the outside, so I match this CD. And yeah, you get the idea. I could do 0 to 2 and 5 to 9. And then down here, you see I match everything other than 3 and 4. Now, the one special character that changes inside these square brackets is the kind of hat. So if I put a hat in the top, it's saying match anything that is not the things designated in this square bracket. So I could say anything that is not A to Z, for example, and then I capture everything except the lowercase alphabet. I could also say not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and kind of exclude those like that. So if you could remember up to here, then you've already unlocked a lot of power of regex, and these basics here will see you through a lot of challenges. Final thing to show you is a website called Regex Golf. This has a number of challenges where you basically try to match all of the words on the left but none on the right. So the pattern here is that all the words on the left contain FOO. So you can type the literal FOO and we pass the level. We've also got a few more that we can do since watching this video. So this one we want to match anything that ends with a U. So we can say U and then a word boundary. Well, that will match all of those. We can also do the ranges now. So the pattern here is that they're all only A to F. So we could say A to F, and then we could just repeat that a few times. So we want at least 2, 3, 4, and we get everything on that side. Now, as you can see, this is annoying having to write that 4 times, 5 times, maybe 80 times. So in the next video, we're going to get into quantifiers, where we can specify how many of things we want, and that keeps everything a little bit cleaner. So hopefully this was useful, and hopefully I'll see you next time.